Hey guys,
I'm Bob.
I'm Barb. Together we make up.
HetteshWorld.
So after 3.5 years on the road, how far have we traveled, Bob?
We have traveled 60,000 miles in our truck.
32,000 miles pulling the RV.
20,000 miles in our Venture Spider Bike.
So today's video is going to be pros and cons of full-time RVing after 3.5 years on the road.
Yep.
And we figure that it's about what percentage?
We think about 95% is a pro and probably 5% a con. And just like being in your sticks and bricks or your sticks and stone or your sticks and sticks house, there's always pros and cons to everything.
One, two, three, four. So a pro for us is that we get to live how we want to live and see what we want to see it, and we do it our own way. 3.5 years ago, Bob threw that rule book right out the window, and we purchased everything we have now, so we have no permanent structure. We are totally on our own, free, seeing what we want to see, which there's so much beauty in America, so much beauty, and so many amazing people that I would never regret the journey and the choices that we've made.
For my first pro is that I get to share this lifestyle with the one I love. It's behind the camera right now. As we did when we were non-retired, we traveled the country, enjoyed every bit of it, and we knew we'd love this lifestyle.
So another pro that I have is that we are checking off bucket list items everywhere we go. I mean, one, look at this incredible lake that's behind me. But I don't know how many oceans and rivers and national parks and state parks I've seen. We've been to Mount Rushmore. We've rode the motorcycle in places that I couldn't even imagine how amazing there are. Glacier, Tetons. There's just so much beauty and so much to see out there, and there's things that you guys love. I mean, one thing I love is seeing quirky things on the side of the road, and I'm getting to find them as we go.
So my next pro is, and this may not be a pro for everybody, but for me, I love it. But hooking up the camper on moving day, moving down the road, seeing all the different sceneries, whether it's mountains, gorgeous beaches, oceans, lakes, waters, and then getting to the park and actually trying to get the camper into the spot. Like I said, most people are going to think that's a con, but for me, it's definitely a pro. I enjoy every bit of it.
We have discovered that there's beauty as a pro in all states. All states. You're going to find something. Some is better than others, this is true, but I couldn't believe all the things that I saw and all the things that are new to me, and then when I come back to the area I'm familiar with, how much I miss it. From all kinds of different trees to different mountain ranges to some snow, lots of sunshine like we like to have today, but everywhere in America is totally beautiful, and we are very happy that we're on this journey and that we get to see it and take you guys along with us.
So my next pro is living every day, but not on vacation. Let me explain. So with this lifestyle comes people on the road that are maybe part-timers or they're weekend warrior people. They expect you to be on vacation. So they expect you to be out of your camper, in front of the fire, got the grill going. It's not always that easy. This is our house. We live in it full time. Yes, we do go do fun things. We do beautiful things, but we don't call it a vacation. We call it our lifestyle. That's why we chose to move the house around so we can enjoy this lifestyle. We're not on vacation. And sometimes you just want to sit on the couch and watch television.
So another pro for me is we get to see beautiful places. Like, look, right inside my shower, I can see Tonga. Who knew that I had a porthole in my shower, but I do. But seriously, what I love is that I get to see beautiful, beautiful beaches, beautiful oceans, beautiful dunes, beautiful forests. I mean, you name it. There's so much beauty here that I can't even take it all in. And it's all so different. It's not the same. It's not the same that you've seen growing up. There's amazing beauty everywhere you go.
So my next pro is discovering new foods, whether it's out at a restaurant. It could be chicken feet. It could be gator bites. It could be bison burgers, boudin sausage, or it could be prepared in this beautiful kitchen of ours. That's what we love about food on the road.
So how do we stay healthy on the road? We get lots of rest in our beautiful bedroom, of course, but we enjoy going hiking. We enjoy walking. Most of the campgrounds we go to, some of them have exercise facilities. A lot of them have pools, so swimming's always an option. You can definitely swim in different lakes that are around here. But the whole idea is getting out and moving and being physical. I mean, there's lots of ways to be physical, especially in the bedroom here, but
let's get physical.
But there's lots of ways to be physical on the road to keep yourself healthy, eating right, the best that you can, but still enjoying the local cuisines from time to time. We do take vitamins and supplements, and we just enjoy being outside, being one with nature.
So my next pro is probably not a pro that everybody thinks is a pro. They might think it's a con, but I enjoy keeping our home clean. And I also love keeping this truck clean. And besides that, I love maintaining it. So whatever we can do on the road that we can maintain ourselves, we do it on the road.
So something that we definitely have is a connection to the environments that we're in. We're surrounded by trees, we're surrounded by oceans and waters and mountains, and you can really feel the pull of everything when you're around them. Everyone who knows me knows that we tumble rocks and that we collect them. My little purple guy that I got here, and it's actually an agate. I've not had an agate this big ever that I have found, so I was super excited to find this down in New Mexico. But for us, being out in nature, it improves our energy level overall. It opens up our brains, it opens up our minds. It definitely moves our endorphins and makes us happy. I mean, it's definitely an experience that I had no idea that I was going to walk into. Smelling eucalyptic trees in California is incredible. It's like I opened a bottle right there in California and I could smell all the eucalyptus that I could smell. I mean, it's a heart-loving experience.
Our next pro, if you got a 2,000 3-foot square foot house, my house is 400 square feet, and I can just vacuum it. 15 minutes, I'm done. I'm ready to go out and party outside in the woods.
So a pro for us, and we couldn't do this life without it, is Thousand Trails. Thousand Trails is definitely a pro for us. We bought a used membership from Membership Outlet Kimberly down in Florida, and we've definitely earned back our savings because we know when we've had to pay for other parks, we wouldn't be able to sustain the lifestyle that we have. But we also have all kinds of different apps that make our life easier, different things from fuel savings to park savings to America the Beautiful Pass. And we'll be having another video coming of that shortly that kind of explains some of the things we do to save money on the road.
So the next pro I wanted to share with you is our traveling partner, which is, you all know Amelia, and we love her. She fulfills us every day. We always have somebody to jump up in bed with us, to give us hugs. We know a lot of people travel with dogs and they love their dogs, but we love our kitty cat because she's been with us on the road the entire time, even prior to travel, and she's been with us. So she's 10 years old and beautiful.
So another pro for me is having friends on the road. Never did I know that I would make real friends on the road that are lifelong buddies that I will always remember for the rest of my life. I never even had that many friends when I was working. I was always busy, I was working, I had my family that I loved, and I had a couple of close friends. But on the road, I think I've made pretty much maybe 1,000 new friends, and I absolutely love it. I love the RV community. For myself, I have tons of girlfriends. I have some that are like moms, I have some that are like sisters, I have some that are almost like daughters. So I'm very, very, very grateful. Bob has also made tons of friends on the road because they're so excited, the guys are, whenever he's out there doing something and building something, you know, what is he doing, what's going on. So this whole sense of community and wanting to help each other and wanting to hang out with each other and kind of like a general understanding of each other. That's what's important for friends on the road. So a big pro for us is sunrises and sunsets, and not just the one that you see out your window, but the one that we've seen out our window in a million different places.
Yeah, top of mountain, on a ridge. I mean, just incredible sunrises over top of the ocean, over top of lakes. It's beautiful. So if you calculate, if you live to be 80 years old, you're going to get about 29,000 sunrises and sunsets. So we say enjoy every one of them, because you never know when it's going to be your last.
That's right. So the best decision we made to become full-time RVers was buying our Riverstone 39 FKTH. It's sturdy, it's solid, it's protected us, and it's our home. And this is what we love about it.
We love our garage model that houses our Spider, mainly because unlike most toy haulers, this does not use up any of our 44 foot of living space.
Kitchen. We have a chef's kitchen. We both love to cook. We both love to can. Got a huge cooktop stove, dishwasher, residential fridge. Makes my life so much better.
We have a beautiful living room. Look at it. 9 foot high ceilings, slide outs, couches on both sides, theater seat, and a 65-inch TV. Who could not love that?
So our bedroom, there's plenty of room to get around on both sides of the bed, but we've got this amazing, comfortable bed. We've got a TV, we've got a fireplace, and I can't live in an RV without a washer dryer. So we have an amazing restroom, and yes, it's not the biggest one, but it works perfect for both of us. I've got Tonga right out my window here in the shower. So we're YouTubers. And why are we YouTubers? It's a pro for us because we get to document our journey, and then we get to share it with you guys as well as our family and friends. And we laugh that someday when we're like 90 years old and we're like, oh, we'll be like, I remember when I used to do this. But it is something that I really, really enjoy. I do all the editing. I do a lot of the shooting. And Bob is my big star. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So one of my cons is going to be unexpected breakdowns, whether it's the camper, truck, or the motorcycle, and accidents. You all know Bob wrecked the camper at one point, and we have driven 30,000 miles with the camper and 60,000 miles with the truck, and knock on some wood, we've been pretty fortunate. We have some mishaps, but that's something you have to deal with on the road, whether you're in your home or on the road. That's something you always have to deal with, is accidents.
So a con for us can be mail on the road. We currently have the Escapees RV service. It has us domiciled in Texas, so we're considered Texans at this point. And Escapees does do a really good job. When they first receive it, I get an email and it has like a scan of the envelope or the front of it, so then I can decide from there, do I want them to open it and scan it, or do I want them to mail it to me? And they do a pretty good job 99.9% of the time. No one's perfect, but there are times when we need to receive things and we may need them right away. We can't wait for them to go to Livingston where Escapees is, or we can't wait for them to go to our daughter's house when we go home. So then we have to have them delivered to a campground. Some campgrounds let you deliver stuff for free. Some charge you anywhere from $2 to $5 to $10 a package. $25, I think, one place out in California. Some places won't let you deliver anything at all. Some people want you to deliver stuff through the general post office, and that's not going to really work either. So sometimes it's not always easy getting what you need on the road. And then the second example of that is banking. We do Discover Banking because it is a thing that's nationwide and it's easy to use and it's not typically been a problem. And then we also have PNC as well. But I don't know if they've upgraded their check deposit system. We get a lot of checks that come to us, like we had some RV repair and they mailed a check to Livingston and I had them scan it, and I did try to do it that way, and it worked in the past where I could print it off and deposit it through the app. Well, then that stopped working. So then the next step was, okay, let's get the check mailed to us wherever we can, because remember, the checks only have a certain time that you can get them sent to you. Well, then that stopped working where I can't deposit anything on either app. So now I'm waiting to get to a PNC bank where I can put it in, and who knew that from Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, where we are now, that it's difficult to find a PNC bank, and Discover, there's no really place for you to deposit them unless you want to mail them the check. Do you want to mail them your check and hope they deposit it? I don't think so.
So our next con is tight campgrounds and getting into the campgrounds. This looks pretty loose here, not much tightness here, but come to this side. That's a little tighter than normal, but sometimes it can be tighter than that. We've had campgrounds where our slides almost touch each other, so we enjoy having a little bit of more extra space around us. Also, getting in tight campgrounds, sometimes the trees can be an issue, so you have to really watch overhead, and Barb's got really good about watching the trees overhead, knowing that this camper is 13.5 feet tall.
So what's a con? Medical. Sick. I don't feel good. Why is it a con? Because you're traveling on the road. Where's your family doctor? Probably somewhere where you're not. Our family doctor is currently in Texas. And anytime we've ever had any health issues, we've not been in Texas, unfortunately. Bob had kidney stones out in Little Diamond in Washington State, or we had to go through the entire system of trying to call the doctor to get a referral. The doctor wouldn't call us back, so we just took him to the emergency room because it was an emergency situation. And then I worked really hard at pressing that facility, which luckily in Spokane, they were great with us in getting him in and getting him out. When you have a medical condition, you're down. So maybe you can't move the camper. You know, maybe you can't do this. Maybe you can't do that. What pharmacies are around? You know, where are you going to get your drugs? Our insurance makes us go through Amazon Pharmacy. And when you need a prescription right away, Amazon Pharmacy really isn't going to work. A good one for me is when we were in St. Augustine. And I went there to see the beaches and all the beautiful stuff, but where was Barb? She was in bed for like 2.5 weeks. I was so deathly sick. I'd never been that sick in my life that I wasn't eating and I could barely drink anything. So Bob ended up finding a really good doctor for me. He ended up being my nurse and taking care of me. And we were very blessed that we were able to find a doctor and be able to get prescriptions, but it took a long time to recover. So when you're on the road, but when something serious happens, it's definitely a con because there's a lot of things and ifs in the air of how am I going to get this taken care of.
So our next con is going to be road conditions. Here we've got 1,000 trails. And this is just the park. This is not the actual interstate. But you can see road conditions can definitely be havoc on your RV. Whether you're in Louisiana, Indiana, Kentucky, some of these roads are horrible and they will definitely break your camper if you're not careful. So we hate bad roads.
So a big con for us that people do ask us a lot about is family. Definitely missing our family. We have a beautiful daughter and a beautiful son-in-law, and we've got another beautiful daughter, and then we've got a beautiful grandbaby, which I'm embarrassed to say these pictures here are old. She's actually 3.5 years old at this moment, but missing family is definitely hard on the road. So how do we deal with it? We contact her maybe 2 times a week, sometimes just on the phone. So we do a lot of the FaceTime thing. Can you say you're missing Grandma? I love you too, sweetie.
I'm missing you too. Are you missing Grandma? No. I love you, sweetheart.
Ariel, are you smiling now?
I put Grandma outside.
Grandma's here. Grandma loves you. And she's amazing because talking to her warms your heart. And the first time she realized that we weren't going to be able to come home, she cried. Come home, Grandma. Come home, Grandma. Come home now. And I was like, I can't, I'm in Maine. So I bought her a big giant wooden puzzle, which I try to have her dump it out on the floor, and then she puts it in, and she knows that she lives in Indiana, and then we try to have her understand where we are on the map. So it's not a complete understanding, but she's super smart. She gets it.
So the next con is going to be weather. Storms get attracted to where? Trailer parks. Why? Because they're light. They're not attached to the ground. So you have to constantly be up on the weather. And what we do to help us plan against bad weather issues, whether it's a hurricane, you can run from it. Tornadoes, you cannot run. High speed wind, you can't run from it. But what we use, we do have a weather station up on top of the camper, and inside's got a console, so it gives us all the weather facts we need. We also use YouTube. We use Ryan Hall, y'all. He's out of Kentucky, and he gets on there when there's a storm comes up. He goes live, and he's got storm chasers all around the United States. Besides that, we use WeatherBug, several other apps, but being on the road, a con is weather.
Oh, Bobby, guess what time it is? It's trip planning time.
Oh no, I gotta plan the next 6 months of my life. I hate it.
Okay, it's definitely a con. I mean, once it's done, it's wonderful because then we have everything mapped out. Sometimes emergencies happen and we got to do it on the spot, on the fly, and we've been pretty good at that. But planning out 6 months is what you got to do to get in the majority of campgrounds across the United States. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of time. It's very frustrating. It's tiring. And the only time that we really ever fight might be because of planning, because we may not agree on something. So I'm going to have a whole video coming out on how we plan and how we do things, but it's definitely not our favorite thing to do. Planning. Ugh.
So my next con is grocery stores. Some people might say it's a pro, but sometimes you get into a small town, there's no grocery stores. There's mom and pop. There's Bill's Grocery. Bill's Grocery, you don't know anything about it. You don't know how they handled the meat. Very limited vegetables. Whether it's Piggly Wiggly, H-E-B, Kroger, you just don't where the things are in the aisles. That's definitely a con for me.
Oh, the allergies everywhere we go. Everywhere we go. I'm super sensitive to things anyway, but we have discovered that once spring starts coming and we're traveling north, I'm perpetually driving through spring in every state I go through. I'll start in one, it'll be the beginning, we'll start to work through it and we'll move. Then I start all over again. And who knew that pollen was green? I'm originally from Indiana. There ain't no green pollen in Indiana, that's for sure. So that means there's green pollen probably in my lungs. I try not to take too much sinus medicine because, as Bob tells you, it makes me BB, which is bitchy bar. So I try not to take that only when it can't be taken care of anymore naturally. But yeah, allergies are a huge issue on the road if you are someone who suffers from some kind of thing that...
Allergies.
If you are someone who suffers from allergies. So that's our pros and cons today of living on the road 3.5 years, what works, what doesn't work, and how happy we are with our Riverstone Legacy 39 FKTH.
Yep.
So we hope that you guys will give this video a big thumbs up. We
Yep.
want you to smash up that notification bell. Of course, Bob is going to want you to
Give us your comments. Let us know, are you a full-timer? Can you add some pros and cons that we missed on the road? Because I'm sure there's plenty, and everybody's got probably different pros and cons being on the road.
So guys, remember, we're HetteshWorld.
Come travel in our incredible world.
Bye!